Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of day 2 of Algorithmas. So if you haven't seen the previous video, do check it out. So this is going to be 30 days of interview algorithm questions. So today we're going to be doing the classic array rotation algorithm. So basically what this is you've got an array of whatever characters or numbers, etc. And all you're doing is you're taking the last index character or number and you're moving it to the front, and then everything else just gets pushed back by 1. So what that means is if I take the 5, I'm going to put it in the same position where the number 1 is, and then the number 1 gets pushed back to the same position as number 2, then the number 2 gets pushed back to the 3, and the 3 gets pushed back to a 4, and the 4 eventually is going to be in the same position that the 5 is now. So what you would read is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you did that again, then what you would get is 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And you can do this on a certain number of times, however many times, and just keep rotating through. So what we're going to do is, just to get started, we're going to create ourselves a sample array. Var sample array, and you notice that I am using a IDE this time. I'm using the online web version because we don't have IntelliSense or any of that. So this should make our lives a bit easier because now we've got autocomplete and brackets and everything. So I'm going to keep it simple and just give myself the same array I was using before. Now, like I said, I'm going to try avoiding using language-specific shortcuts. I know in Python, you can just iterate for array. You don't have to create a fixed size array. Same with other languages such as Ruby. In C#, the array that you create is going to be a fixed size. So to kind of work more easily with it, you convert it to a similar data structure called a list. So what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to create var sample list, and all that's going to be is our original sample array converted to a list. And it's going to be of the same data type, which is an integer. So now we've got our sample list, and what we need to do is to simply first iterate through it. And there's two things. One, we're going to add our last index character to the front, and so what that's going to give us is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And secondly, we can try removing that last character, so then we get 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if we did it again, we added the last character to the front, so we get 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then remove the 4, so we get 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And we would just keep doing that. So rather than talk about it, I'll show you how it looks like in code. So let's say we want to just do this once. So all I would need to do is, in my sample list, the first thing I would want to do is add that last index character to the front. So we can do that with a simple insert statement. And the insert statement, what it takes is an index where we want to insert to. So that's going to be the first one, which is 0. And then an item that we want to insert. So we want to insert that number 5 there. So what we can do is, if we index that as the last index. Now there's two ways. A lot of languages you can literally just do -1, which is fine. But we are going to do the length of our list, which would be, if you count it, 5. But because it's 0 index, we're going to have to add a -1. And then what we're going to do is, because we know that the last index characters hasn't been removed yet, all we've done is add it to the front, we then need to remove it. So a simple way to do that is we could use remove at, and similarly to what we've done here, where we've got the index of the last character, we can then remove at the index of that last character. So hypothetically, our list should now look as 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we can do is, once we've done that, is we can just do a quick for each loop in this list, and we can just print to the console each number. Now what we should see is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to give that a quick run. Okay, perfect. So what you can see in the top left hand corner is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is exactly what we expected. So what we're going to do is we're going to now show you how you can do it multiple times. So let's say if we wanted to rotate 3 times, which would then put us at 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So let's do that. So what we can do is we could just create a for loop. So for x equals var, let's say num equals 0, and if num is less than, so this is how many times we're going to run it. Let's say we want to run it 3 times, then just want to increment it each time so that it loops through 1, 2, 3 times. And then all we need to do is just to complete it is just open these brackets, and I'm just going to move my code inside here. So what this is going to do is going to loop through 3 times, and then we're going to similarly print to the console our sample list. And once it's looped through 3 times, I would expect it to be 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So let's give that a try. And there you go, guys. So you can see that it's 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So that means it's shifted the last element to the front 3 times, which is exactly what we expected. And this is usually accompanied by additional parts to it. So they might ask you to, pass in a variable amount of times that you can rotate by, or they might say how many times must you rotate to get this certain element at the front or in the middle. So they can always kind of mix this question up a bit and make it a little bit more trickier. But hope this guy helped you guys. So this was the array rotation algorithm. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. And yeah, stay tuned for another 28 more interview algorithms. So again, these will increase the difficulty as we go on. So do stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.